Hello everyone, I thought I would do a YouTube video while I have actually some short period of time, and I want to actually go through and show you a sample reading using my Curiosi-Tea reading system, which is a mat, cards. There's 18 of them, 18 cards that actually correspond with the mat. We have dice. We also have charms. So you get the whole kit. It is listed in my Etsy store, and there is a light version and there is also a dark version. And the dark version, again, they are identical, and it just means whether you like dark colours or whether you like light colours. So I'll just grab the light one because of the purpose of the video. You may see it a little bit clearer. Okay, so we're using the light version here today. Now, a lot of people have said to me, how do we use this, Karen? And I'm going to show you. There is other videos of how to use this, but I thought, why not do a few more different scenarios so you can actually have a look. So we'll use a scenario of a young lady and a young man. They've been dating for several years. They don't live together. He's a very charismatic man. She herself, absolutely drop-dead gorgeous lady, but feeling a little bit more on the anxious or a little bit insecure side. He adores her. He goes through and does everything he can to show her love, but she is really, really unsure of, is this relationship the one? So it's a common question that many professional readers will get asked of, is the person that I'm dating the one? So it means the one to go the long haul. Now, when you ask, is this the one, it's very much on a yes and no basis. Any reader will tell you yes and no is, look, you can get your positives and your negatives, but when you're looking at yes and no's, it's not looking at the positives of why it's yes or the negatives of why it's a no. So by looking at this type of system, we're going to look at all the various bits and pieces. Now, when we use this system, it is cards face down. Now, cards face down, it is because we are using a card chaining system, which is really, really common throughout many types of cartomancy, playing cards, Lenormand. I'm not sure if that does in tarot, but a lot of cards do use chaining where there is numbers on particular cards. So these here, if you have a look, every space on the mat has a colour and a number. And by using the colour and the number, we are chaining the cards. And there's a couple of different ways we can do this. If we're looking at this scenario of this young couple, are they mutually a good couple together, about seeing long distance, what's the longevity of them? We would, and you can if you want to, start in the house of the heart on the mat. You can start just in position 1 if you want, or this is where you use your dice. Now, 3 dices actually correspond to 18, which is 18 cards. This mat system, the cards are numbered 1 to 6, but in 3 different colours. And that's because dice divination, that goes right back to the days of caveman using knuckles, bones out of hooved animals. It is based on symbology. So even plain old dice like this, all the numbers, and if they were 3 different colours, actually mean different things. So when we're doing this, we can either start in the house of the heart if we're asking about love. If you were looking about money, we would start in the house of the money tree. If you were looking about home or family, we would look in the house. If you were looking about babies, we would look in the house of the baby. If you were looking at career, house of the castle. and so on. So we've got all sorts of different areas here. But for this purpose on this demonstration, I'm actually going to use the dice. And the dice is we add up the numbers of what fall to where we start. So what have we got? I hope you haven't lost that out video. So we've got a 2, a 1 and a 5. So it tells me I start in house 8. So I'll just pop those there. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's starting here. House of the castle. So we're looking at this lady, and like I said, she wants to know about this fellow and is he the one. Castle there would tell me again, not a bad person, not a bad relationship. It is on the house of the child or the house of the baby. And there would tell me about, yes, new things that it's exciting to them. And then you've got the castle. Castle is ultimately a success symbol. And when you see the child and a castle there, it would still tell me new things, new adventures need to be taken into consideration to bring about more success. So we then go pink card, which is pink row, to position 1. So we've got the ship, and the ship on the house of the castle would still tell me, yes, a successful journey, but very slow, because the ship here would tell me really taking its time. Ship is a water sign, water symbol, which would still tell me emotions moving very slow. And even with the castle, yes, successful, but still very slow as a fixed structure. So we then go pink card, number 3. 1, 2, 3. We got the horseshoe, very good card on a ship, which would still tell me luck and opportunity for this couple. Horseshoe, not just luck and opportunity, it often means high energy and a bit more of freedom, think wind in your hair. That there would tell me again, don't hold this too hard or too tight, because there has to be a level of freedom and independence in this relationship. Horseshoe 2 is male structure. So pink position 4. We're doing really well in the pink cards, aren't we? We've got the house on the horseshoe. That's a really nice one, because the house means, again, home, family, security, comfort, 4 walls, the structure and the foundation around this couple. So far, we're actually getting some really nice stuff. So, green card, 5. So this is our green row, and that's our blue row. So we're going 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got the scales, which tells me about balance, agreements, transparency, equality. It's interesting on the house, because that can even be right down to the literals of where they are signing a contract or an agreement together, as in living arrangements. So that's actually not a bad one. So green row, position 6. We got the cane, which tells me again a bit of support network will go a hell of a long way for this couple. And the cane's not bad again, sitting on the scales, which just tells me there's good support for both of them. It's good support with them as they progress further, and even in where they are starting things to form together as a bond or what they are agreeing to. So blue card, position 1. Blue row, position 1. You got the camel. I love it when I see the camel in love readings, because it actually means be persistent, go the journey. And it often is, yes, the road is long or the road is bumpy, but the persistence where you started tells me where you will end up, which here on the support network would be really, really nice, because there would tell me, yes, no matter how bumpy the road is, you've still got the support basis with you. Pink number 5. We got the heart, which is really lovely. So yeah, it would still mean a bit of a bumpy road, but yet you've got your heart crowning over the difficulty. So it would tell me love will still pull these two through. Green in number 3, we've got the ladder. Now that's actually really interesting, because the ladder and the heart would tell me climbing to great heights. We then go blue 3. You've got the sword. So what is it that gets cut? And it's on the ladder, which to me, I'd see that as 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So what is it that's causing some of these issues here? It's like they hit a wall and then they move backwards. 4, we've got the key, which would tell me open up new doorways, new avenues. When I look at this here then, cutting the ladder, it would just tell me there's a blip on the radar. The key here would tell me it unlocks what the difficulty is. For blue, we've got the cross, which still tells me this connection is a soul connection. On the key would still tell me together they're actually better than they would be apart. Because to me, when I see a cross in Tea symbology, it means soul journey. Look at your obligations. Where is it your heart intent is going? And it often means fated or your destined path. Pink 2. Money tree, beautiful, because it actually means beautiful abundance is all around this couple. Money tree, everyone thinks automatically straight away about the cash flow. Money is about prosperity and abundance in many areas and multiples of area. We're talking about love, which would tell me multiples of love. And that's really nice, cradled very lovely around. So we go blue 6. The spider web. Now, everyone looks at the spider and thinks, yuck, it's going to cause all sorts of problems. No, it actually would tell me, be aware of mindful people who may interfere. And I know this may sound awful, but spiders in Tea symbology are often female, and they are often mature females, which could be either one of these couples. It could be the mother may interfere. It could even be if the person had an older sister that may be interfering. But it's still sitting on the abundance, which would tell me eliminate the problems, stand their ground. They begin and weave their own magic. And they are back to the baby, which just tells me new beginnings for them. Now see here, we've got 3 cards that didn't turn. They didn't turn because it's not relevant information for this couple. And I know a lot of people are tempted to turn the ones over. I would say don't, because all that needed to come out has come out for you. So then we enter the charms. So these kits, and I'll just show you here, these kits, all these charms mirror every same symbol that you have here. And there's 18 cards, 18 charms. So if we're looking at our charms and we want to look a little bit more on, say, the house, what's going on here? We've got the house on the horseshoe. We would mix your charms and don't look. And we drop a few and say, okay, we've got the house full of luck energy. What else is happening around this? We've got the bat here, which would tell me, very important is the bat. It means use your headspace correctly. Do not allow the shadows of the past to follow. So if there are any old arguments or problems that you've had in the past, it's time to leave them there and look at your navigation, move forward. You've also got the cane, which would still tell me supportive home and family life. And she still comes back with the scales and the house, which you've got scales here on the house, which I would look at this and say this young couple are likely, yes, to step forward, but they really do need to move forward with open eyes and open heart. Not look at what the mistakes of the past are, and I'd say they will then come to the agreement of actually living together. So there you go. There is a snapshot reading using Curiosi-Tea. Thanks for listening.